नमस्कार। आज
नमस्कार।
2 फरवरी 2025 को डॉक्टर के SCFI हार्ट केयर फाउंडेशन ऑफ इंडिया के इस एक्सपर्ट ग्रुप ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट राउंड टेबल में हमारे सभी एक्सपर्ट मेंबर्स का और जो भी व्यूअर्स डॉक्टर के अग्रवाल जी के यूट्यूब फेसबुक पेज से जुड़े हैं उनका सबका स्वागत है। और आज का जो टॉपिक है तो एनवायरनमेंट प्रोटेक्शन एंड ऑफ लाइफ व्हीकल रूल्स 2025, इस पे हमने एक प्रिलिमिनरी सेशन जनवरी में एक लिया हुआ था 12 जनवरी को। और क्योंकि उसके बाद इसकी ये मीटिंग नहीं हो पाई, लास्ट में 26 जनवरी थी, हम उस दिन भी सब लोग बिजी थे, तो आज ये सेशन हम जो है कंटिन्यूशन में ले रहे हैं। और इस पर्टिकुलरली जो ये रूल्स हैं, एनवायरमेंट प्रोटेक्शन एंड ऑफ लाइफ व्हीकल रूल्स 2025, ये 6 जनवरी 2025 को अभी रिसेंटली नोटिफाइड किए गए हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरमेंट फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया द्वारा। एंड ये रूल्स जो हैं जो हमारी एंड ऑफ लाइफ व्हीकल्स हो जाती हैं उनके रिलेटेड है, हाउ टू साइंटिफिकली इसको जो डिस्पोज करने के लिए और साइंटिफिकली वे में मैनेज करने के लिए इसको किया गया है। एंड दीज रूल्स हैव कम इनटू फोर्स फ्रॉम दी 1 अप्रैल 2025। तो अभी ये 2-3 महीने बाद ये इनफोर्स में आ जाएंगे। एंड पर्टिकुलरली इनका एम है रूल्स का फॉर सेफ हैंडलिंग एंड डिस्पोजल ऑफ एंड ऑफ लाइफ व्हीकल्स इन ए इन्वायरमेंटली साउंड मैनेजमेंट मैनर। एक्चुअली क्या है कि उसे जो जब एंड ऑफ लाइफ व्हीकल्स या व्हीकल्स में जो भी मटेरियल सब्सटेंस यूज होते हैं, दैट अगर उसको अनसाइंटिफिक वे में डिस्पोज किया जाएगा तो दे में कंटामिनेट द एनवायरनमेंट। इसीलिए इसको जो जो भी सब्सटेंस हैं उनको कैसे हैंडल किया जाए, जो भी मटेरियल यूज हुआ है कि साइंटिफिकली वे में इसको डिस्पोजल हो एज लाइक अदर रूल्स में जैसे है, उसके हिसाब से ये भी रूल्स में है कि कैसे इसको साइंटिफिकली मैनेज किया जाए। और ये रूल्स हमने बताया था जैसे पहले कि प्रोड्यूसर्स पे, जो मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं असेंबल करते हैं उन पे अप्लीकेबल है। रजिस्टर्ड ओनर ऑफ व्हीकल्स, हमारी अपनी इंडिविजुअल व्हीकल है उस पर अप्लीकेबल हैं। बल्क कंज्यूमर्स पे हैं, अगर मोर देन 100 व्हीकल्स इनके पास हैं। रजिस्टर्ड व्हीकल स्क्रैपिंग फैसिलिटी है जो हैं उन पे है। कलेक्शन सेंटर्स हैं, और जो इन्वॉल्व में टेस्टिंग में इन्वॉल्व हैं व्हीकल्स की उनको पे हैं। एंड जो प्रोसेसिंग हैंडलिंग प्रोसेसिंग स्क्रैपिंग, जो स्क्रैपिंग पे भी जो इन्वॉल्व हैं उन पे भी एप्लीकेबल हैं। तो इसमें और ये जो ऑल टाइप्स ऑफ व्हीकल्स हैं एज पर दी मोटर व्हीकल रूल्स जो है, मोटर मोटर व्हीकल एक्ट है 88, और इसमें इंक्लूडिंग चाहे ईवी हो बीओबी हो, और ये अंडर दीज रूल्स जो इनमें एक्सेप्शन दिया गया है एग्रीकल्चर जो रिलेटेड व्हीकल्स को, लाइक जैसे एग्रीकल्चर ट्रैक्टर वगैरह को इसमें एग्जेप्शन दिया गया है। और ये ईपीआर को भी कवर करते हैं, रूल्स आल्सो कवर द ईपीआर रिजीम, जो कि हमारे और सभी रूल्स में सभी वेस्ट में जो है एप्लीकेबल हो गई है। तो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ प्रोड्यूसर फॉर स्क्रैपिंग ऑफ लाइफ ऑफ व्हीकल्स इन एनवायरमेंटली साउंड मैनर, ये एज पर ईपीआर ऑल्सो है। और इसमें प्रोड्यूसर्स की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो है ज़्यादा है, फुलफिल द ऑब्लिगेशन ऑफ पीपीआर ऑफ द व्हीकल्स। और इसके अलावा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ रजिस्टर्ड ओनर्स की भी व्हीकल है, कि अगर आपकी व्हीकल एज पर लॉ, चाहे मोटर व्हीकल एक्ट हो या जो इसके एज पर दी जो एंड ऑफ लाइफ जो इसके रूल्स हैं, रजिस्ट्रेशन एज पर दी मोटर व्हीकल्स रजिस्ट्रेशन एंड इसको फंक्शंस ऑफ व्हीकल स्क्रैपिंग फैसिलिटी रूल्स 2021, इसके अकॉर्डिंगली अगर आपकी व्हीकल्स एज पर एंड ऑफ व्हीकल्स हो जाती है तो दिस शुड बी जो एज पर जो है कलेक्शन सेंटर्स को या जो स्क्रैपिंग फैसिलिटीज़ को, जो विद इन ए पीरियड ऑफ 180 डेज ये आपको वहाँ पे देनी, ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आपकी इंडिविजुअल व्हीकल ओनर्स की है। और अगर आप इसको नहीं देते हैं तो आपको इन्वायरमेंट कंपनसेशन भी बियॉन्ड 180 डेज ये लग सकता है। और ईपीआर सीपीसीबी को रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दी गई है कि एक ईपीआर सर्टिफिकेट जनरेशन के लिए ईपीआर पोर्टल होगा एज पर अदर रूल्स के हिसाब से। तो इस तरह से इसमें रूल्स में बहुत कुछ डिफाइन किया है। मैं जस्ट बिकॉज ये पहले भी हमने डिस्कस किया था, और लास्ट में कुछ मेंबर्स ने ज्वाइन किया था, और उसमें लास्ट टाइम पे पर्टिकुलरली रविंदर कुमार थे सीआरआरआई से, उनका भी उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा बोला, डॉक्टर आर एन जिंदल सर ने, और भी कुछ लोगों ने बोला। तो ये हमारा क्योंकि उसमें टाइम इतना लगा तो ये हमने इसको कंटिन्यूशन में लिया हुआ है। तो आज हम सबसे पहले शुरुआत करेंगे संजीव कुमार जी उनकी टीम से, उनके साथ और भी उनके कलीग से जुड़े हुए हैं, कि पर्टिकुलरली अभी हमारा फोकस हर गवर्नमेंट का ईवी पे है कि 2028 से ऑनवर्ड्स जो है, चाहे एसडीजी का जो हमारा टारगेट है कि 2030 तक जो है हमारे काफ़ी कुछ इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है, या कार्बन को जो है हमको अपने इंटेंसिटी कम करनी है। और 2028 में मोस्टली जो है टू रिप्लेस दी जो ईवी से रिप्लेस करना है व्हीकल्स को, और बहुत से इशूज रीजंस हैं। तो इसको हम जो नए रूल्स आए हैं और पहले ड्राफ्ट रूल्स भी इशू हुए थे, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली क्या व्यू हैं किसमें, और इसमें फर्दर कुछ जो है, चाहे इंडिविजुअल रजिस्टर्ड व्हीकल ओनर हो या और है, क्या होना चाहिए और क्या रूल्स में है। तो मैं सबसे पहले रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा संजीव कुमार टीम से कि आप अपने व्यूज जो हैं एक्सप्रेस करें। ओवर टू संजीव कुमार जी।
Sir, Namaskar. Am I audible?
हाँ, यस। बिफोर गोइंग टू संजीव जी, जस्ट मैं कहूँगा हमारे साथ आज विवेक कुमार जी भी हैं, हमारे जो ट्रस्टी हैं सीएफआई के, और मैं उनसे बाद में उनका कंक्लूडिंग और डिटेल रिमार्क्स लेंगे उनसे। तो विल स्टार्ट विद संजीव कुमार जी। यस।
Yes, sir. So, Namaskar, sir. Namaskar to all the esteemed people participating. Once again, I would like to congratulate HSFEI to keep on conducting these kinds of meetings wherein new things or the ongoing problems are being discussed for the betterment of health and environment. And I see most of the thing which is coming up as a part of economic growth is related to either in the form of health improvement and which has direct or indirect impact on the environment. So as a part of this, once again, I congratulate HSFI for conducting such awareness meetings and thought-provoking experienced leaderships coming out with their experience and thoughts. This topic of end-of-life vehicle, which is coming up as a major change by the government, and the origin probably maybe because of bringing in the policy of green mobility or under the aegis of reducing the pollution to the major cities, wherein like under NCAP, NCR is being looked up as a large pollution emission portion where the contribution of the vehicles are also one of the contributors, and probably 20 years long back it was CNG was introduced. Then there were improvements in the fuel standards and BS6 came in. Now they are trying to bring in with the electric vehicles for that. And with the growth in growth in the vehicle segment, EV vehicle is now being considered as one of the major transition. And with that, the government of India in the last 3 years has been formulating the draft rules for end-of-life vehicles, and now they have come out with the final ELV vehicles, which is draft guideline, which is the final guideline to be implemented from 1st of April 2025. I hope this was covered in the last discussion, but for the sake of one more understanding, I would just like to take help of my colleague Mukesh Dhiman. I would like to introduce him as he is one of the he's the project head handling the operations and the business for end-of-life vehicle for our company, and the facility is located in NCR. I also take this as an opportunity to invite you all to visit that facility to understand that what is happening on the ground, so that some more changes can be brought in with this kind of a thought leadership there, and we would like to implement it. So, Dhiman, can you just put up the slides?
Yes, sir.
So this is, I think this will be a repetitive for the last what has been explained, but I will just rush through and I will come directly to the plant where it is. Hello. Hello.
संतोष कुमार प्लीज अनम्यूट कर, आपको म्यूट कर लेंगे, आपका भी आवाज आ रही है आपके यहाँ, संतोष कुमार जी के यहाँ से।
थैंक यू सर।
Yeah. So go to next slide. So this has been defined by MORTH that the end of life vehicles which are no longer valid registered or declared and fit through the automated fitness centers. Probably this is right now as per 15 years or so, and India has about 5.1 lakh million light motor vehicles which are more than 20 years old, and those are about out of which 3.4 million is about 15-year-old. And it is estimated that by this current year, it will be roughly more than 2 crores vehicles will be declared as discarded vehicles or in a position that they are old. So for the customers, there is a scrappage policy 2021. Any commercial vehicle or passenger vehicle more than 15 to 20 years, or a vehicle that fails the emission and the fitness test. So one is the age and the second is the fitness. And to the vehicle scrappers, it should have automotive industry standards 1929 amended as per the MORTH rules. Next. These are the output as per AIS 2129, which has taken about after different detailed discussions with all these institutions. Next. So this facility has got a data inspection, depolluting and dismantling. These are 4 major sectors as to how a vehicle will get scrapped and where it will go back again for the reuse and recovery. So first is obviously keeping the tracking and traceability is important. Then ensuring that nothing goes to the environment. Third is recovery of the metals, which follows through shredding, milling of the vehicles. And then once the material gets recovered, that needs to go for recycling or to back to use of this portion which is there. Go to next. So 1 ton of scrap into metal gives so much of benefits. I will share this for everybody's record. Next. And the vehicles under this category is mainly that if you see, so 2-wheelers are contributing to 70% plus, followed by 4-wheelers, passenger vehicles here it means. And then you have other vehicles which are more, which are in the range of 16%. So next. Go to next. So active life of any such vehicle is 5 to 6 years, and this here, when it comes to active life, it should be in use. In use means if I purchase a vehicle and just park in my parking, or sometimes a day I take it out, then this active life may change accordingly. This is considered to be that 5 to 6 years active life if it is having the original spare parts and it is running for that much of period. So either the time period or the life of the original spare parts, followed by 7 to 8 passive lives with refurbishing or repair spare parts, and balance is another, say maybe some standing time of storage life. And this is to be considered if a person is to have 1 vehicle or 2 vehicle. Right now, any family of 4 is right now having more than 2 to 3 vehicles. And that is quite a good contribution. The percentage of people having more than 2 to 3 vehicles per family. Next. These are the components which can be taken out. Either it is in the form of seat, in the form of windows, in the form of hood, engine, wiring, engine oil, radiator, coolant, bumper, battery, transmissions, body, trunk. So many parts are there which can easily be recovered and given to the authorized recycler for reuse. Probably these are not being looked from the angle. It's like mainly the people are talking about steel. Now, most of the new vehicles, ELV vehicles, though they are not scrapped right now, and vehicles which are in the range of more than 35 to 50 lakhs or above are having chips which is having precious metals into it. And the recovery of the precious metal, one is the value, but the second is the more importantly, these precious metals needs to be mined, otherwise because they are getting imported from the other countries, which is adding to the exchequer of the country and thereby being passed to the individual. Next. So life cycle assessment of vehicle, a fastener can last up to 60 years. Monoscope chassis can last up to 9.6 years. And these are the numbers given by the different studies. Next. Life cycle, same is the life cycle for each and every vehicle. For example, a radiator can last up to 8 to 10 years. Beyond that, a radiator cannot last. Next. So once this gets, it has to tie up with the sales market, because how do we do? Now the question is, what is that we do? So we tie up with the sales market. We also tie up with, because we don't have all the recycling units with all. So for example, plastic e-waste and rare metal extraction is with the RE company, Resustainability. But for metal, oil waste and other waste, we are tying up with the authorized recyclers. Slowly, oil waste will go into RE because now we are setting up a oil waste recycling facility. Next. So when the scrap demands, the Indian ferrous scrap demand has increased by 40% over a year. And because of the impact on the crude steel production and the ferrous equipment, this is aimed at it will be keep on going. So the scrap demand will increase day by day. Next. I would also like to present the landscape about what is that facility and how the landscape around NCR is there. In the NCR around, there are 16 such facilities in the country. In the NCR I am talking about. In Uttar Pradesh, more than 25 facilities are there in the country. Now, to what extent they are authorized or they are having that infrastructure, that needs to a evaluation of the committee vis-a-vis the guidelines provided. But I would just like to show you how the facility at Jhajjar in Haryana is there. It is having a capacity of 100 vehicles, and it has been inaugurated just last year. Next. It is in the area of about 15 acres, and it can cater to about the distance of roughly around entire NCR region. It is falling within both the eastern and the western peripheral region in Haryana. Next. This is the layout. This is the facility. It has a weighment section. Anything which comes out into any waste management facility has to weigh so as to understand that what has gone out and how the byproduct or the product or the raw material per se will have impact on the environment. It has other machines and equipments of dismantling, balers. Next. The bales coming out from these are the portions coming out from leather, from the seats and the other areas. Next. How it is happening. Everything is automated. It does not have manual working. So this is the process flow. Once you get it, you will have a look. I also don't have very detailed and engineering aspect involved into much knowledge of it, but my colleague Mukesh is there. He can answer to any of your questions. Yeah, next. Go back. Go next. Yeah, the flow chart. There's the flow chart. Next. Yeah. So a vehicle enters. It is done with a radiation test or weighbridge deregistration. It goes to the parking storage area, and then it goes for a washing. Depolluting, section 5 is very important, followed by dismantling, manual dismantling, inspection of storage and spare parts, engine separation, baler, shredder, excavator shredder, and then loading bay outgoing material. Next. Next. Some of the connotations as to how it happens. Next. So these are the steps involved within the factory as to how every portion is measured, tracked, and traced. Next. You can move. This is very critical part because right now all the things which is going into unauthorized recycler, there is no management of hazardous material moving out of those facilities, and which is now passing through drain and thereby moving to rivers or any other water body nearby. So most important part as far as environment is concerned for any dismantling industry is the fluid removal, fluid drainage, battery removal, fluid filtration, and removal of the hazardous waste, hazardous material within the vehicle. Next. And all these are completely automated, used through mechanical equipments. Very less involvement of manpower is there. Next. You can move. It's a very detailed one, which shows go next. Yeah. So better seeing than believing than seeing the presentation. I invite you all to see the facility at Jhajjar. It is very much near to NCR where you all are staying. Based on this, there are certain COD given to the individual owners, and especially to the government department. Now it has been made mandatory that all vehicle purchase will have the sale or the existing vehicles which are old and obsolete needs to be sent to only to certified or authorized ASVP, automated scrapping vehicle facility, and then only the new purchases will happen. So right now, all the government agencies, you can change it. You can take off slideshow. So all the government authorities are trying to auction them, and once they are auctioned, then they are able to purchase the new vehicles. So this is how right now it is happening. I am open for any discussion. Then there is another presentation on the EPR, wherein certain buyback for the generators or the producers of these vehicles has been meant in terms of steel. Slowly, I think the other sections will also fall under EPR. Right now, it still has been taken in the present form of EPR, which is one of the major component. But over a process of time, probably it will also, like used oil is already getting covered, precious metal is already getting covered under the e-waste, and the other recovered materials will also fall in under the EPR. So those are also there. There are challenges coming up because of how to track, trace, and then properly to see that testing, tracking, tracing, and trading. So these 4 T's are the major challenges in all this section. And right now, since it is an evolving stage, maybe 2 to 3 years down the line, things will get settled down. And let's hope that this ELV as the intent of the government takes to a proper shape. And I am open for any discussion. Over to you, Anil sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjeev ji. Very good presentation. Actually, once seeing the presentation, we could see that actually how, I mean, a very scientific way it is being done. Otherwise, normally people think, I mean, this is what is the facility in India. We are not having such facility. I mean, so very excellent presentation. But my just 1 or 2 questions related to as per this rules, what because you have already some facility and things like after this rules comes, any updation or anything new, I mean, according to you want to say about the rules also, or anything is not included, you want to, I mean, say about that the rules actually with respect to these rules and your facility that way?
Yeah, rules per se has got roles and responsibilities of MORTH. The certifying agencies who are issuing the license, and the producers and the agents who are selling in the market. So the rules needs to be improvised on. It talks about generic terms, but when it comes to execution, there is certain areas where clear-cut responsibilities and tracing is required.
Yeah,
which is not there explicit in the rule. Maybe this may form as a part of advisory guidelines. One point which is coming up is that Government of India through Niti Aayog has come out with traceability or recovery of 12 focus areas where ELV is there. But within ELV or the focus areas, there are 7 to 8 critical minerals. Now, critical minerals from this particular section, there are certain critical minerals which is generated from or which can be captured from these ELVs. Now, these things vis-a-vis rules, vis-a-vis the focus area, that will take some time to see how every portion can be tracked and traced. So probably if I put it in a short way, It is tracking and tracing is the area where the rules, how rules can implement, I don't know much, but rules should focus on amendment and ensuring that those gets incorporated there.
I think this is awareness, and these kind of very, very important rules have come because in 3 months we have. So I think very, very important to awareness from the public, because the registered owner also has a responsibility. I mean, that was the. So I mean, this is very, very important. Besides the other facility infrastructure, the awareness training by the transport department to all the, I mean, though implementing is not the enforcement only. We have to create the, I think this is awareness among the people, because otherwise people are thinking like NGT has made the 10 years or 15 years like time for the diesel vehicles, for 10 years and 15 years for the petrol. People think I'm not drive, I mean, that much kilometer or that much period, and my vehicle is still, I mean, in good condition. Why? I mean, this is the mindset of the people, that government is against the, I mean, particularly for going for the long period, and they're promoting the like new vehicles, company for the purchase of new vehicles and things like. So mindset and the people is there, that why my vehicles and within 10 years go for the scrapping and things like that. So these are the questions, I mean, in the mindset that we have to, I think, very clarify with these kind of rules and the all facility. I mean, this is for the good for the environment also, and these some questions may come like I mean, myself also. I mean, that would be. So similarly, I mean, that would be. So these are things like.
So Sanjeev ji,
Yes, sir.
what is the business model for this?
Yes. So the business model right now, what we are operating is that we were looking for some vehicle. The ideal condition is the vehicle should come in the scrap form, and the scrap as per the market rate is to be provided. But probably that is not happening. So that is not happening because if I am supposed to be there, my vehicle is registered in 2012. I have my own, and maybe another 3 years, 4 years down the line, it will become scrap as per se. But truly speaking, I don't find anything wrong in that vehicle.
Yeah, that's what.
And it is an individual's perspective requirement, and every individual has the right to say no. That is very clear. But this is when I have a vehicle which is 2011 and 12 ownership with me. I am saying that so the model comes like more like you have to have vehicles, and then we purchase the vehicles through auction or through individuals, and that range I dismantle. I have certain margins of it, and I sell it to authorized recycler. So any waste management per se, the model works on that. What is the cost of the material and where the material offtake happens. Same is here in this for any waste management, or whether it is solid, liquid, gas, whatsoever, or within solid, if that is the case. If the purchase or the raw material which comes into and the offtake and the byproduct sale commitment is not there, then I am gone. So in this model also, the purchase here is at a cost. Like in MSW, probably there is no cost what we do. But there are many companies who has been doing this in the same that I will provide you royalty. We don't believe in royalty, and it won't work. It will cause damage to the environment. For anything free is free. So that is not happens. What the model very clear. Yes, it is a model of purchase, refinement, reuse, and recovery. And then if for the things which I have my own, I will purchase on my own, I will work, or I will tie up with the authorized recyclers. So this is the model at a cost or at an expense.
My question is slightly different. Like I have a vehicle which is end of life, 15 years is over. I want to scrap it. So whether I will get anything or not?
Yes, you will get.
Who will give that?
Me.
So I will bring my vehicle to your facility.
Yes.
So depending upon on what quality of the vehicle, or size of the vehicle, or
scrap of the vehicle.
It is the scrap. It is the scrap. But I would like to request Mukesh, can you please answer this question? How do you do?
Yes, sir. It's based on the curb weight of the vehicle.
Okay.
Suppose if your vehicle weight is 800 kg,
Yes.
So I will multiply with the
X value.
MS rates. So it is, suppose right now it is 32 rupees per kg. So your value for 800 multiplied by 32 is the value. So this is the,
So straight away you will give this.
yes, we will directly give it to you.
Okay. That's right.
For other parts or the total, only the weight of the total vehicle, that was it.
Yes, that is curve weight of the vehicle.
Curve weight of the vehicle. Okay. That's good.
Actually speaking, sir, I'll tell you, if a seat, if let's talk something very crude to understand. If the driver seat is in a good condition, let's assume of the car, what will happen to the driver seat? This will become only a security guard somewhere garden mein baithta hai, usko use hoga. Otherwise, there is no such use of that seat. So what happens is that कि everybody thinks, अरे मेरे में तो इतना बड़ा प्लास्टिक लगा हुआ है, तो ये प्लास्टिक का तो कुछ एक वैल्यू होना चाहिए, इसका कुछ वैल्यू होना चाहिए. नहीं, let's. Anil sir very rightly said, people are not aware, and that is what the forum like HCF, if it goes to a broader forum, people should come to know that how it should be, and it's a uniform procedure where maybe, like say, suppose RE Sustainability is paying you 32 rupees kg. Maybe there can be somebody else who may pay 40 rupees per kg. That is quite very possible. Quite very possible. So, but then 32 rupees, 30 rupees is basic cost, and there is certain norms defined because everything has to be tracked and traced. So that is how it works. We are not getting even a single piece of metal of ELB at a free cost, and everything we are purchasing, and that is done immediately online. Everything online. The moment you go through, and also you get a COD, certificate of deposit. And certificate of deposit is very important to get any tax rebate or deductions or discount from any new purchases for that, whatever the government is coming out with the schemes.
That is a policy. Now, what is the cost of this thing? End of life vehicle, for processing, cost of processing.
Since it is different parts for different
like if we are taking this vehicle, say 32 rupees a kg, whatever you take.
We are working on a margin of say 7 to 8% margin, sir.
Okay.
It's a volume
still you have a margin.
7 to 8% margin. Yes, we have a margin. 7 to 8% margin is what we are doing it. Maybe it may go up to 10% margin. This business does not give more than 11 to 12% margin. That too a huge volume. For example, last month we could do around 800 tons is what we are seeing. We are struggling to meet our previous expenses. We are operating for last April, I would say, put it. So April se abhi tak mein we are bleeding, but we are knowing that yes, this is the future. This is going to be there. And with that, we are opening up 4 such facilities across major cities: Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, and Calcutta.
Yeah.
So this is how it is there.
So one question for Mukesh. How much vehicles are you getting in a day, from where and from where?
So right now we are getting vehicle from through auctions, government auctions.
Okay.
And second, we have a team around 7 to 8 people in field. They are getting vehicles from the dealers, from the owners. We also have an online portal where anybody can put their data and sell their vehicle.
Okay.
So per day right now we are getting around 4 to 5 vehicles.
Whereas you have a capacity of 100 vehicles per day.
Yes, we have a capacity of 100 vehicles.
It will take time. It will take time. Actually,
that is the loss. That is the main loss. That is the main loss.
We are hoping after EPR implementation, we will get some vehicles.
Okay. Thank you.
So Sanjeev ji, I think quickly 5 minutes, because we have 15 minutes अभी हमारे पास time है meeting का. 5 minutes quickly we can go for the EPR presentation, and then we'll have, because we want to is other speaker, we can discuss that.
Okay, sir. Mukesh, can you just put up the slides, please?
Yes, sir.
So EPR, I think we all know, sir. Hello. EPR, we all know that there is a market purchase or market buyback policy which is encouraged by the government for any such products which can be recovered and which is being consumed by the generator or the original generator. So putting them, holding them responsible, the policy of EPR has been framed even for end-of-life vehicles. So it defines as to, put it on slideshow. Yeah, go to next slide. So the first section, section defines the various definitions of who is the producer, manufacturer, registered owner, very clearly defining that who can be the responsible. Like bulk consumer is what the major government sectors are there, whether it is transport or police or administration. They are consumed to be more than bulk purchasers, or many factories also. There are transporters who fall under bulk consumer. And next slide. So it applies to the producer, registered owner vehicle, bulk consumer, registered vehicle scrapping facility like us. Collection centers, there are collection centers, let's say for Jhajjar. Now we are planning to have one in Delhi and one in Noida and one in Rajasthan, apart from Haryana, so that we cater to their requirements. And automated testing stations. These are testing stations are to be certified and run. It can be placed both at collection centers or registered vehicle scrapping. Even the bulk generators consumers can also put up these automated testing stations. Handling, processing, and all types of vehicle defined in Motor Vehicle Act, Clause 28. This does not apply to waste batteries, packaging, plastic packaging covered under the plastic waste management rules, e-waste under e-waste management rules, agriculture tractor, trailers, harvesters, and power tillers. So that which is meant for farmers and public use are not kept under the rules. Next. So producer has to fulfill the obligation of EPR. For example, Tata Motors has to ensure that, or Mahindra has to ensure, or Volkswagen has to ensure that whatsoever they are consuming, they have to have the EPR targets which are set down later. Fulfill the obligations of EPR, meet the scrapping targets of end-of-life vehicles, and fulfill the EPR either through purchase of EPR certificates. Go for next. Producers should deploy schemes so as to see that buyback scheme, either they have to buy back or a deposit refund scheme for any other. In fact, DRS is likely to come now in this sector as well. Means that you have to, if I am a Tata vehicle, if I am selling Indigo car or anything, WagonR car, Maruti, then he will say that ठीक है 15 साल के बाद मेरे पास अगर वापस आप देने आएंगे तो I will take your vehicles, but initially you deposit me, say suppose 50,000, and when you return back I may pay you 50,000 back, or 50,000 plus interest, or 50,000 minus depreciation, some kind of a formula, the way DRS works. Obtain registrations, inform producers, has to inform, go next. Inform to the central board of exchanges of the information, bring in notice. So these are all the trading practices or the nuances as to how it happens, how it should happen. Next. Every producer shall make, and then it's a complete detail given in that EPR rule. I would not like to go for each and every, but there is a responsibility clearly defined for the producer, for the user, for the registered owners, and the consumers. Next. For the target, they have set out that mainly for the steel use, they have given that from 8% to minimum 25% to the next 15 years. Next. Means consumer having, so now the earlier one was producers, then comes the responsibilities of the registered owners or bulk consumer. So in individual, registered owner is the, wherein our responsibility as an individual comes in. Next, these are for the bulk generator. Every collection center must collect, handle, and shall maintain the record. So the record part and the traceability of it, matching with MORTH or the producer or the end-of-life vehicle or the collection center, needs to be tracked. There is where the problem is right now. Next. Under the automated testing system, all the vehicles has to be declared unfit under Section 182 of the Motor Vehicle Act and its amendment, wherein this goes for the, once the vehicles, if it declared unfit, goes directly to the central government act, where you will not get further approval or license renewals. Next. The registered vehicle scrapping facility has to see that the following facilities are there, which is mandatory, that is treatment center like depollution, collection of fuel, or the hazardous waste management, dismantling, segregation into different parts, safe storage, and recycling and refurbishing. Next. Receive unfit vehicle or end-of-life vehicle, or all the recovered, registered, segregated material from end-of-life vehicle. Send it to the refurbishers, co-processors. Refurbishers also plays an important role. If an engine or if any part needs to be found, is that yes, it can be used further and brought back to the system for say 2 years or 3 years, then it can be used, and the refurbishers and the user has to see that it is correct. So a lot of material also is now going ahead in the name of refurbishing, and which is finding some place where it should not have been, and people are likely to be fooled, get befooled. So this particular section also needs review. It is also the recyclable responsibility that all the non-recyclables and non-refurbishables will be given to TSDFs, and the EPR certificate upon processing has to be based on the quantity of steel. So right now, only the steel being the part, the steel is coming under the EPR factors. I think there is a discussion already going on that what are the other types of metals which can be put into EPR. Next. Maintain records, make an application under Form 5, and RSVP should file quarterly returns to the State Pollution Control Board as well as to the MORTH. Next. This is the very important thing, that they give a certificate, EPR certificate, to centralized online, and everything is online. There is nothing manual. So once it gets cleared, it checks through CPCP EPR trading portal. And once on the portal, then only it can be issued to the RSVP, and the RSVP can send it to either to the producer. And if the producer or bulk consumer is doing any such responsibility which obligates them to get an EPR certificate, then they can also get it through online. Next. So this is the formula given. EPR in kg is weight of steel scrap generated at the RSVP. This is given in the rule. Next. An EPR certificate can be used by producer to meet EPR obligations and can be exchanged once again. Next. It is not transferable. It cannot be like, say, Volkswagen cannot transfer to Maruti, and Maruti cannot be transferred to others. Next. Next. I'm done, sir. These are the major parts of the rule. We can have a discussion.
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjeev ji. I think main one point I just went through. It should be very, transparent manner. It should not be happen just like other plastic waste rules and things like this facility, and then Karnataka and things like the fake certificate and the were generated by the recycler and things. So that is very important, how to check and balances by the government, who will check either transport department or pollution control board or CPCB, because the manpower and things like issue with the pollution control boards also. So this should be very challenge going for transparency and things like that.
Like say in NCR, sir, there are 20 number of facilities in NCR, and if a proper audit gets done by the authorities, probably 2 to 3 of them will be up to a standards what is prescribed. So 17 of them, either in the name of collection center or any kind, are right now running, operating, and probably that needs to be where. So your question about that, in case of plastic, there was a big showdown, and probably with the new changes and amendment brought in by the plastics within, these new changes are really work. Everything is now put that every producer will have to put a barcode
Yeah.
on the product, and that barcode needs to be put into while generating to the end of a complete life cycle assessment, and so that barcode can generate only one EPR or whatever level of EPR required for that. So probably in future, every part of vehicles which is getting manufactured will have those kinds of things, or whatsoever. There can be much more improvised technological intervention, but this is how there it is.
Thank you so
संजीव जी,
much. Yeah, खंडेलवाल
मेरा
जी.
एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन है। अभी आप रिफर्बिशिंग के बारे में कह रहे थे, तो रिफर्बिशिंग ऑफ इंजन्स भी आपने वर्ड यूज किया, फिर तो एंड ऑफ लाइफ का फायदा ही नहीं हुआ। अगर रिफर्बिशिंग ऑफ इंजन मैं कर सकता हूँ तो एंड ऑफ लाइफ का तो पर्पज ही खत्म हो गया।
Actually speaking, I am talking of the intent. The intent is like that. It cannot be done. You are right. And engineer, it cannot be done. But as an RSVP, we never do it. But at a collection
you never do
center,
it. I do agree. अगर रूल में दे दिया उसने, if you can do that refurbishing, then everybody will go for refurbishing.
Exactly, sir. What is I'm trying to tell you right now, there are vehicles which came to our notice, that जुगाड़ vehicle which is running over a good, very good, पीछे में कुछ लोड करने के लिए होता है, फटफट चलता है, and those have those engines. So is that not there in the market? It is there in the market.
So we have to make some this thing that these items cannot be refurbished. My only suggestion is this.
Yes, correct. Very
My
right.
only suggestion is this.
Sir,
At least some restriction on the items which cannot be refurbished, even if it is in a good condition.
Accepted.
Yeah. So thank you, Sanjeev ji. Very excellent presentation, both presentation. Due to restriction of time, we'll just very quickly to नीरज जी, because last time भी नीरज जी को मैंने सॉरी कहा था और नहीं हो पाया था बिकॉज टाइम भी परमिट नहीं कर पाया था। मैं क्विकली कहूँगा नीरज जी से, नीरज त्यागी जी से कि आप एक्सप्रेस करें, देन फाइनली वी कैन क्लोज बिकॉज आज टाइम थोड़ा हमारे पास बहुत कम।
आदरणीय विवेक जी बहुत दिनों में आए हैं, उनको नमस्कार। और
विवेक जी आई थिंक
निकल गए।
तो मैं बिल्कुल शॉर्ट में, ये बहुत सारा डिस्कशन हो चुका है इसमें। एक तो जो हमारे पास इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इनएडिक्वेट है, इसको डेवलप करने की जरूरत है, और मॉनिटरिंग एनफोर्समेंट अभी इसमें मुझे लगता है बहुत टाइम लगेगा, और कई चीज़ों पर क्लैरिटी नहीं है। जैसे रिफर्बिशमेंट के लिए खंडेलवाल साहब ने बोला, ये भी थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजिंग है, और जो पोटेंशियल कॉस्ट बर्डन्स ऑन व्हीकल ओनर्स पे पड़ेगी, और पोटेंशियल फॉर इम्प्रॉपर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पर्टिकुलरली इन रूरल एरियाज, raising questions about the effectiveness of achieving the desired cycling and environmental goals. और इसमें जो complexity है कि some critics highlight the potential for confusion regarding specific aspects of the rules, such as process for determining when a vehicle is considered end of life and the responsibility of different stakeholders involved. While the goal is environmental sustainability, there is worry that the scrapping process may impose additional cost on vehicle owners, potentially discouraging them from complying with the rules. और दूसरी lack of awareness है, public engagement इसमें होना चाहिए। Concern regarding recycling process किस तरह से है, potential market distortion भी हो सकता है, क्योंकि inadvertently एक तो सेकेंड हैंड जो गाड़ियां हैं उनकी कॉस्ट कम हो जाएगी, और ये भी हो सकता है कि जो कार हम खरीदने जा रहे हैं, जो मैन्युफैक्चरर हैं, उनकी कॉस्ट को बढ़ा दें। तो ये, और एक तो जॉब रिलेटेड, हमारे जो मेंटेनेंस करते हैं पुरानी गाड़ियों का मेंटेनेंस के लिए बहुत सारे प्राइवेट इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर में लोग काम करते हैं। वो चीज़ें जब हम सेकेंड हैंड गाड़ियाँ ही नहीं रहेंगी तो वो ख़त्म हो जाएंगी, इनके लिए जॉब भी ख़त्म हो जाएंगे, तो इकोनॉमी पे भी मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा सा फर्क पड़ेगा। तो ये सब मैं अब ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं है, इन्हीं को मैं थोड़ा सा, और एक ब्रिटेन में तो फिटनेस पे ध्यान दिया जाता है। ब्रिटिश में फिटनेस अगर है गाड़ी की तो उसको फिर स्क्रैप करने की जरूरत नहीं है। ऐसा सिस्टम हमारे यहाँ क्यों नहीं किया जा सकता? जर्मनी में जो प्रोड्यूसर है वही जिम्मेदार होता है, वही नोटिफाई करेगा कि आपका जो है 10 साल हो गए, आप उसको स्क्रैप में वो प्रोड्यूसर ही ले जाता है। यहाँ पे व्हीकल ओनर पे कुछ ज्यादा जिम्मेदारी डाल दी गई है और बर्डन भी कुछ है, ये थोड़ा सा है।
जी तो आई थिंक जैसा कि बता रहे हैं कि हमें, आई थिंक इंडिया में हमारे लोगों का कंसर्न यही है फॉर एवरीबडी। फॉर एग्जांपल मैं अभी इनोवा मैंने मेरे बेटे ने ली करीब 5 साल हुए उसको, करीब करीब 2019 में ली, और 7 साल का लोन था। तो है ना, तब जब तक वो पता लगा लोन का पूरा होगा, 2-3 साल बाद पता लगा व्हीकल जो है डीजल है वो स्क्रैप में चली जाएगी, वो इसको अपने यूज नहीं हो सकते। तो ऐसे ही लोगों के कंसर्न है कि हम अपनी व्हीकल, अच्छा सेल्फ मेंटेन बहुत ज़्यादा सपोज यूज नहीं होती अगर है, तो जरूरी नहीं कि फॉर एवरी, कॉमर्शियल के लिए तो ठीक है कि कॉमर्शियल में अगर कोई चीज़ यूज होती है तो उसका एक पीरियड होता है, रनिंग ज़्यादा होती है, पर पर्सनल व्हीकल में लोगों के रिजर्वेशंस हैं। आई थिंक दीज ऑल्सो नीड टू बी एड्रेस।
इसमें हम लोगों ने जो सजेशन दी थी कि लाइफ पे ना देके किलोमीटर्स पे कर दी जाए,
या समथिंग लाइक।
किलोमीटर पे, जैसे जर्मनी में है, जर्मनी में है ये।
हम
तो
लोग
ये अभी
एमसीडी में अपने व्हीकल से करते थे, हमारी लाइफ होती नहीं थी, लेकिन किलोमीटर ज्यादा चल जाते थे,
यस
हम
यस,
पहले ही उसको स्क्रैप कर देते थे
बट
MCD
कॉमर्शियल
में।
पर पर्सनल में रिस्ट्रिक्शंस दोनों में थोड़ा सा जो अलग अलग
हाँ,
होने
वो अलग
चाहिए।
अलग कर दें दोनों,
हाँ
रेजिडेंशियल के
हाँ
लिए इतना, कमर्शियल के लिए इतना, जो भी
हाँ
करना है।
हाँ। तो ये आई थिंक वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है, लोगों के कंसर्न अभी हैं, रूल्स तो इम्प्लीमेंट चलो ठीक हो रहे हैं, अलग बात है, पर लोगों की जब तक जो है ये नहीं होंगे, बहुत से ऐसे हैं लोगों के। तो आई थिंक वी हैड वेरी गुड डिस्कशन, वेरी गुड प्रेजेंटेशन बाय संजीव कुमार जी एंड टीम, थैंक यू सो मच। और
थैंक
ये
यू।
टॉपिक हमने इसीलिए लिया था, और नेक्स्ट में जब भी हमारी मीटिंग होती है हम हमेशा जो है कोशिश करते हैं कि न्यू जो रूल्स आते हैं, न्यू टॉपिक्स आते हैं, और आप सब लोगों के सहयोग से ये डॉक्टर के अग्रवाल जी का जो लेगेसी है, डॉक्टर के SCFI का, ये चल रही है, लोगों तक जो है पहुँचे। और हम लोग तो सभी लोग इस उन्हीं के उस पे जो है ये वॉलंटरी हम लोग सब कर रहे हैं। तो थैंक यू सो मच ऑल द एक्सपर्ट्स मेंबर्स, एंड थैंक यू ऑल दी व्यूअर्स। तो इसी के साथ विल क्लोज मीटिंग टुडे। थैंक यू सो मच।
Okay.
नमस्कार।